Welcome, everybody. We're really happy to be able to host this event, and it seems like such a really incredible program here. Patty asked me to speak a little bit about my history and how I got into sustainability and so forth. And I guess probably like most people, it's always been there. Whether it's a love of the environment or the outdoors or whatever. And for me, 15 years ago, I started a firm called Envision, and our first project was to do the headquarters for Greenpeace USA here in Washington. And I was really extremely excited about that project. And for me, what I like, I'm sure, had they known about those things when I was a child, I would have been an ADD kid, like so many kids are now. I just want to do a lot of things, and I'm constantly switching, and I, one of the things I love to do is get up in the morning and do something different that I didn't do the day before. And so what I really liked is like, oh wow, well I get to think about a project completely differently. And literally we started at the floor and worked up. Like, what is a green flooring material? Is it carpet? Is it wood? Is it some hard surface? What is it? What does that mean? And working up to the walls and things like that. And it was great working with Greenpeace because they taught us a lot, but then I think we also taught them a lot. And it was a great synergy. And that project turned out to be a really successful project. It was widely published and went into textbooks on sustainability, and Rocky Mountain Institute did a case study of it, and I gave a lot of talks about it because 15 years ago this was very new stuff. But that really set my new firm Envision, on this amazing course for doing this kind of work. One of our next big projects that we got was the headquarters for Conservation International, and then we did the headquarters for the UN Environment Program, and then we got the job to work with World Wildlife Fund, actually, who owns this building, and we designed their space, and that went on, and I got involved with the U.S. Green Building Council. Welcome. And that was prior to LEED. That was back in 1999, and they were working on LEED for whole buildings, really, the original LEED, but they didn't have a LEED for interiors, which is my focus of my practice. And so I got involved to help develop that, and that took many years. It probably took 5 years to have that actually come out and deliver. And then I got involved after that in the LEED for core and shell, which is the sort of hand in glove to commercial interiors, where you're dealing with the shell of the building and then the interiors for primarily office space. But all of that was really exciting, and it was a great differentiator for my practice. It helped us it helped us get work, and in some cases, I was saying to Patty earlier, it didn't get us work. Like just one quick example of that, I remember we were, and I don't mind even saying the name of it, we were invited to interview for the Government Affairs Office for Bayer. They're a big, Bayer aspirin and all that. They're a German company. And the first thing I do usually when we get an opportunity for an interview is I'll go to the website, I'll say, let's find out about them. And literally on the front page of the website, they were talking about their new headquarters somewhere in Germany that was very green, and there was some quote by their CEO saying, from now on, everything that we're going to do is about, is going to consider sustainability, and it's the way we're going to run our company and so forth. And I thought, this is perfect for us. And so we went into the interview, and I actually put up that quote on a slide, and I talked about it. Then later, the broker, the real estate broker who was running the interviews, called me and said, So I'm sorry, you don't even have to write a proposal. They're really not interested in you guys at all. And I said, well, why? And because you just pushed the sustainability thing too much, you know. So we did lose some projects, but we early on made this commitment that we were going to introduce everyone we met to this idea. And I used to say things like, you know, if I could show you a way that we could design a space that was filled with natural light, that had materials that didn't off-gas harmful chemicals, that we had lots of, you know, outside air and better ventilation, and just did a healthier space where people were able to get together and communicate better. He's like, is that something you'd be willing to consider? And like, who says no to that? You know, I mean, and so that's how we started this process. And anyway, so it's led to a lot of things. We ended up doing the green headquarters for the International Interior Design Association. We did the headquarters for the U.S. Green Building Council. We did. We're now currently working on the headquarters for the American Society of Interior Designers. We've done 3 projects for Al Gore, including his office in Nashville, which is one of the highest scoring LEED projects ever. Anyway, so it's been an incredible ride, and it's been very transformative for myself and for a lot of the organizations that we meet and do work with, because a lot of times it does start with their space, you know. Once they've got a great green space, then that's a catalyst for a lot of other things. One of our clients, the Society for Neuroscience, for example, 10 years ago we did their space. They bought a new building and they occupied the top 3 floors, and they got their space LEED certified, and then later on they got the building certified. And they do a lot of publications. They publish these neuroscience journals and so forth. And they switched to a completely green printing system with, you know, vegetable inks and things like FSC paper and all of that. So it's been really great. And these have been also really great business moves for a lot of people. You know, with the U.S. Green Building Council, for example, we put a lot of bells and whistles into that building, as you can imagine, and we sort of push things a lot further than we typically would do. And those things cost money, but at the end of that project, we added it up when we figured out what we spent on that project. It's a 75,000 square foot project, 2 sort of fairly large floors of an office building. And we added up everything that you could even remotely think would be above standard. And we put a price to that. And then we looked at the energy savings. And it turned out that there was a complete return on investment in 2 years and 3 months. And from then on, they were saving about $100,000 a year in energy costs. And so that was, whatever, 7 years and 9 months of a 10-year lease on energy costs, which is huge. And when you start to measure those things into the value of a project, it really means a whole lot. So anyway, welcome. Hope you have a great, productive morning meeting here, and good luck with everything.